Fandral. Dude. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a look at the Medicom MAFEX DCU Shazam. Now when I pre-ordered this, I hadn't seen the movie. I don't remember if the movie out when they solicited this. And honestly, I didn't watch it until sometime in the past month or so. But at the time I pre-ordered it, I thought, ooh, Medicom's getting better with their face printing, and that cape looks more elaborate than what we're used to seeing in the MAFEX line. And then after seeing the movie, where it was pretty cute. What else can I say? It was funny, and it stuck loosely with the whole Shazam lore, better than some other DC movies. Don't get me wrong, I don't really hate movies. You entertain me for a couple of hours, I'm good. But you have to admit, Shazam sticks more to canon than, say, Suicide Squad or some other DC movies. Looking at the package, it's your MAFEX packaging. They just kind of take graphics and stick it on there. A little bit dollar store feeling, but that's okay. This is just the trash around my toy. You see some blue lightning effects both in the foreground and the background, and that makes the effects a little bit harder to see. When you first pull this out of a shipping container, you think, oh, that's empty. What is going on? Oh, no, they're in there. MAFEX number 101. I can't believe there has been 101 MAFEX figures. It seems like just yesterday that they started this line. On the side, another promotional shot against a black background, and I feel like, I don't know, that seems like a better presentation overall. On the back, the rest of the promotional shots, what you get in the packaging, the different faces, the different effects. Down here, some legalese, some logos, that creepy-ass bear right there. On the other side, another good use of black background, promotional shot, the electricity shooting across. It's clever. On the top, a little bit of window, Shazam logo on the bottom, much more legalese, hologram to show that this is not a bootleg. So if you're watching this a year from now and something's wrong with the figure and you're sure that it was a bootleg, it's not. I got this on release date. But let's get this open and see what's going on here. Zip. There's the stand. Oh, tape to the back. I don't really care for the MAFEX stands. They're a little bit flimsy. They're a little bit short, but it's extra stuff. Can't complain. And getting Shazam out of the package, if you've seen the movie, there is a familiarity here. It looks like a dude that you recognize, but is that a bodysuit, or did he build up muscle, or what's going on here? I feel like the figure conveys that perfectly. This figure has all those beats. There's a texture to the costume itself coming up over the muscles, but you get to the abs, and I don't know why that sticks out at me so much, but the abs are done so well here. You have slight seam lines running in. Hell, looking at this figure, I'm finding costume elements that I didn't even see in the movie. On the belt, you have these lightning bolts coming around. It's a nice gold color, the same for the gauntlets. At first I thought, oh, they didn't paint the whole thing, but there's these straps of red on the inside. Below the waist, just as nice with the textures, and coming down with the seam line to the knee, it splits, comes up, carries on, goes down to the boot. I didn't know this lightning bolt was right here, but it's a cool little subtle thing that breaks up the banding, and then the boots are the same gold color as the rest of the golds up here. Like up at the chest, the lightning bolt here, I wish there was a little bit more glowy paint, but I can see why they didn't go that direction either. That would be very easy to screw up, but as is, it's a little bit plain in the yellow of the lightning bolt. And while it's hard to see, they did come in with a darker color and kind of shade in the musculature. Under the cape, there's some on the back. Oh, I'll never see that again now that I've dropped the cape. It's a nice effect, used mostly at the abs. Maybe that's why my eye is drawn here. You get away from it though, and it's not just in your face. The cape on the back was one of the things I was most interested in seeing, and it really doesn't disappoint. It's got a billowiness to it well, it's flattened down because it was in the package, but you bring it out, the folds, there's a wire running across here, and then running inside the hood. It's not running down the sides so much, but the bottom wire does a good enough job of making it look like it's in the wind. The hood, like I said, has a wire running up the front of it, but it's sewn down right here in a place where you can't really get it up and around. You can bring it down where it needs to be, but the way the top is sewn, it's not really a good look for Shazam. Unless you bring it way down. No, still not. He's still cone-headed. But messing with soft goods capes before, one of the big problems is when you try to bring it back, it always wants to stick out. Because of the wires, you can make it lay flat too. So in a neutral position, hanging off his back, it looks good. It works. You can also see the print work. At first I thought, oh, that's some intricate sewing, but It's not. The gold is printed on there, but it's nicely done. It's a good effect. Everywhere there's an edge, there is this gold trim work. And again, you get off away from it, normal distance, where it's not close up in a camera or microscope. It's a nice effect. Then there's also the head, and I can't fault MAFEX here. I mean, they have gotten better and better with their printing technology on the faces. It looks like Zachary, and all the paint work, as far as I can tell, it's nicely applied. The hairline is a little bit just straight on paint, and I don't think there's much of a wash to the hair, so it looks a little bit plain there, but the face makes up for it, I think. Paintness, like, I think there's a little under the eye and then of the lips. When it comes to a MAFEX figure, this may be the most lifelike I've seen. To get it out of the way, Medicom, what in the hell is up with these shoulders? Let's just do it. There is your shoulder assembly. I understand the concept here and what they were wanting to do, but there are probably better ways of doing this. Here's your butterfly joint, or what is supposed to be your butterfly joint. But when you try to hinge up, it just kind of runs in, well, I don't know. That's not terrible, but it's not up to 90. And it seems to all work against each other. It makes it a pain in the ass. The left doesn't want to pop as much when I'm messing with it, but it feels looser too. And the forward and back, you can see it works, but I feel like this was over-engineered. It wasn't necessary. If you want to bring the arm up, you want to push in and then bring it up as far as it'll go. It does help in shifting that up, and it makes them look actually a little bit buffer, and it shortens the arm to where it feels right down here, but I can do without some of this. Going over the rest of the articulation, it seems okay. Dumbbell joint at the top of the neck with a ball joint down at the bottom. You get good up, can bury the chin, so much tilt. And then of course swivel, ball joint on the shoulder and the butterfly, and coming out to a ball joint, to a hinge, to a swivel, up to about right there. Swivels around, forward and back. Swivel is at the bicep. Double elbow, excellent range there. Swivel hinge, swivel at the wrist, so you can go from side to side. Rotate, bring it up and down, up and down. Ball joint mid-torso, gets you about this much range. Ball joint at the waist adds to that, so you can get all around. Chuck is a hula hooping guy. Drop down ball joint at the hip, and that allows the leg to go to here. If you overextend it, you're gonna pop the ball joint. I think that was meant to be like that, to keep you from breaking it, but you really have to push in order to do that. Back out, about right there. This assembly right here also swivels. Not bad range, it runs into itself. Double knee, no, not quite. But I do love MAFEX knees. They extend all the way around. It doesn't feel as breaky as some lines. And then the ankle is like the wrist. You can rotate at the top, hinges back, hinges forward, forward facing pin for rocker, and then a toe joint that goes up to there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's also a sole down here on the bottom of the boots. Nice design. For accessories, there are several sets of hands. Shazam comes with 2 fists. It comes with 2 relaxed hands. There's 2 splayed out hands, 2 large item holding hands, 2 smaller item holding hands, and then 2 cell phone holding hands. There's also 2 finger pointing hands that have electricity. Well, it's molded to the electricity. And I love the effect here. It's a light blue translucent plastic, but there's also some white frosted on down at the base of it. And that's the same for 2 splayed out hands that have electricity shooting out the palm of it, or coming into the palm of it. I can't remember that part of the movie. And the hands are not that bad to pop off. And the same goes for popping them on. These are removable. There is a peg here. Hand just pops on. Then you take this, just plug it right back on, and you're in business. So be it, Jedi. Comes with a cell phone, which either could be his or you can give it to somebody else so he can charge it. It's a little bit plain. You can see that there is a screen sculpted onto it, but other than that, no details. And then from the convenience store scene, we get a case and a can. For some reason in the movie, I assumed it was beer, but looking at this picture, it was some kind of cola. And I don't know why they didn't print that graphic on there. Maybe Medicom was afraid that it was trademarked or something, that it was an actual cola from the States. But still not bad. At first I thought this was a box of donuts. And the proper hands have no problem holding these items. But then there are alternate heads. In the package, he comes with stern, serious, he's getting a handle on the powers, and he's about to be badass. But you can't swap it out with this smiling face, which I feel is a little bit more appropriate for the character. Goofy, but he's having fun. It looks like the actor. I can't complain about this. But I can complain about the third head just a little bit. I know what it's supposed to represent, and it does that well, but for some reason, it feels like the right eye is dragging down. It's falling off the face. It's supposed to be where he's doing the dance, but it can also be used for drinking the soda, or cola, or Coke, or whatever your region calls it. The heads are easy enough, like I showed during articulation. Pops off. The other one goes right on. So easy, so nice, still durable. And like I said, this one's my favorite. This will probably stay on here for the rest of his plastic life. And I nearly forgot one because of how seamless Medicom does their chest emblems when they are swappable. We've seen it with the Batmans, and it's usually done with magnets. Here, there are pegs behind the lightning bolt on the chest. And if you get up under right there, it pops right off. And then there's this alternate chest emblem with these blue roots growing out of it. No, it's another electric effect. You plug this in here. He just yelled that catchphrase. The electricity's coming down. But here you can really see the clear blue plastic and then the white down here. It's a nice effect if you want to use that. I love that if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know it was there. I don't know where I was going with that. Doesn't it always feel crazy to try to put a MAFEX figure in a neutral stance? It's never quite straight up and down. The abs kick one way, the chest kicks the other. Man, do I love the proportions on this thing. Shazam stands at about 6 3/16 inches tall, which puts him more in scale with the MAFEX Nolan Trilogy figures. They're a little bit smaller than Medicom's usual offerings, skewing more towards SH Figuarts. I always grab Bane whenever I have a chance. But I am the shorty of this group. Medicom's MAFEX Suicide Squad line was larger than this, but I didn't realize the older MAFEX Batman vs. Superman Batman, that's not bad. Then there's Dan Mattel and their ever-changing scale, at least when they had the DC license. Here's their movie Shazam and Savannah. And the same goes for Mattel's multiverse movie Aquaman. And then for giggles, here's Mattel's DC Universe Classics, Captain Marvel, Shazam, whatever. Here's to you, buddy. So at the end of the day, it's a fun figure. It's a very accurate looking figure, but those shoulders are shit. It seems like Medicom constantly trips over their own feet. They'll work on improving one aspect, while trying new things in others and not always succeeding. And I hate to say that because I enjoy the majority of their figures. Past figures have had screw-ups like parts falling off. I can add some thickness to it, fix that, or glue pieces back together. But here, this is an engineering thing. You can't really go in and redesign the whole shoulder, at least not easily, you know? Which is a shame because, like I said, I love the overall look here. I love the cape, I love the proportions, I love how it looks. They did a fantastic job with the likeness and the paints. But then you can almost hear them saying, oh, the figure's too good, throw a speed bump in there. We can't get people's expectations too high, you know? I don't know what... I definitely don't hate the figure. It's going on the shelf. It's better than the Mattel version, but the Mattel version was 20 bucks. This was, what, 80? I don't know, it gives me more faith in future ones, but oh, I don't expect Medicom to be watching this at all. But Medicom, you're this close. You are this close, buddy. People want to love this stuff, but it's hard not to focus on the negatives. They do it to themselves. People know I'm pretty easy on stuff. I want to enjoy things, but it seems like every time. So if you enjoyed this review, or this fence sitting that I'm doing here, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh.